So, hi guys, 60 plus is a good number, so I believe we can start. So, good evening everyone. I am Soham and I am a member of the GFG student chapter JGEC, and along with me I have Pushpendu. So, Pushpendu, once you can introduce yourself.
Hello guys, my name is Pushpendu Das and I'm also a team member of technical staff leading in GFG chapter. And so let's start the session.
Yes, and to introduce ourselves, like I can say that we are competitive programmers, even if that does not make a sense to you right now or does not hold any value. So, let's get started. So today our session is basically on how to use HackerRank. Now many of you may not have heard, and it is quite natural for you to have not heard the name of HackerRank because you many of you are starting to code right now. And just tell in the chat once that if it is better if I use Hindi, English, or Bengali, whichever language, then we can continue with that.
Yeah, so we should proceed with English, I guess, Ram.
Yes, দাদা বেঙ্গলিতে বলো
Uh,
সুদীপ ঠিকাদার I will
uh,
talk to you Bengali at night. Stay tuned for that. And
একটু মিক্স করেও বলে দাও
হ্যাঁ একটু
তাহলে
মিক্স
ভালো
করে
হবে
বলা
সবার।
যাবে. So
হুম,
anyone I'm comfortable in all three. Okay. So like so we can keep a mix, so whichever will be better, so we can start. So today, as we said in the announcement, that we will be working on how to use hacker from creating a profile to setting up your online ID on which you will be writing your code, and how submissions work in HackerRank, how badges work, how you can improve your profile, how you can sit for interviews. We will just try to get a knowledge of that, because HackerRank is basically a platform for practicing your data structures and algorithms, which you will be learning while coding in whichever language. And the benefit with HackerRank is that you can like use it for various things, which includes like coding and development part. Many of you may have heard of frameworks and libraries, like for Python and JavaScript. We have some of the libraries, so HackerRank can be also used to practice those. So we will see how. So let me share my screen. So I believe it is visible right now.
yes, Shom, it's visible.
Okay. So like hackerrank.com, it's basically hacker and rank. So you can just do along with me if you want to right now. If you're on your laptop, or if you're not, you can turn it on. We will go pretty slow. So hackerrank.com, and this is the main page. So we can see there are two options: start hiring and sign up for coding. So as I said, like you can sit for interviews here. So that's why they also have an option for companies, which we will not be exploring right now because we are entering it as a developer, as a programmer. So let's start. For job seekers, we will go sign up and code. And we will be job seekers, like you will be job seekers, those who are in the first year. You have like 3.5 years right now, roughly 4 years. So you will be seeking job, and then this comes up. It's the hacker rank for developers and sign up. So you can just log in with any of these profiles if you have Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, or GitHub. Many of you may not be familiar with GitHub, and we will address that in later sessions. But for now, as I am using Google, so we will continue with that. For the first signups, you will be just filling up this form. So then there would be a Google sign up which will ask you to select the account with which you want to log in. So as I use my account, this is my native PC, so it was already logged in. And now we have the first page, and we come and now we will start hacking. So many are joining right now. So for those who joined later, around like 10 of you, so we will be starting with like exploring HackerRank and how we can code here. So we can see from the top, we can start like we have practice sessions, then certifications, complete and leaderboard. So these are basically like you can stand for certifications, like many things are there we will see. So first of all, let's see a profile. Like this is the profile because I use it sometimes, so my profile is already like 33%. You can complete it. And hackos is something that hackos are basically like coins you have on various platforms, like for using it daily. Okay, so as Pushpindu, if you're stuck anywhere and want a repetition, just drop a message in here, or you can turn on your mic and say by raising your hand, obviously. So whichever you're comfortable with, and we will then work accordingly. So let's move back to the dashboard. So because I was problem solving, so these come up the which ones you will be working with, मतलब जो तुम ज्यादा यूज करोगे या फिर जो तुम कर रहे हो वो ऊपर रहेगा. तो नीचे चलते हैं, तो ये देखो इधर आके एक जगह पे हमको मिलेगा स्किल्स अवेलेबल फॉर प्रैक्टिस. जैसे मान लो कि किसी को भी तुम अगर कोई लैंग्वेज शुरू कर रहे हो, तो देखो सी प्लस प्लस जावा पाइथन यू हैव मोस्ट ऑफ द लैंग्वेजेस. लाइक फर्स्ट ईयर में यू विल बी टॉट सी इन कॉलेज. Even in second semester, you will be learning C. In third semester also, right now we are in third semester and we are learning C. So we are learning data structures, but in C language. So you can start learning any of the languages. There are some advanced things also like Linux shell, functional programming, artificial intelligence. So that you will come across yourself when you will be learning. So these are the skills available for practice. As I code in C++ mainly, so I was practicing C++. Then comes tutorials. Now, tutorials, because HackerRank, as I mentioned, it is a very beginner friendly platform and it has tutorials. So interview preparation, 30 days of codes. Let me add them quickly. Yeah. Then 10 days of statistics. Like 30 days of code, this is like they will provide you a 30-day roadmap. Like every day you will have some tasks, you will be learning a new topic every day, and then you will be coding, you will be submitting your problems. And like that, you can keep a organized way to study. Then there are also 10 days of JavaScript, and so many such platform like tutorials will be there. You can do anything. So this is for the practice section. And certification, like certification is basically on the after the practice. Like if you think you can get HackerRank certifications like this, basically like these are online certificates, so they are really not of much value because they're online and you can pretty easily cheat on them. So, but apart from that, for your personal gain or for personal experience or practice, you can like opt for the certifications. This is basically a certification will be a test which will have 2 or 3 questions on the topic that you choose. Like here on the first row, we can see Angular. Angular is a development, like it is a framework used for web development. So if I want to like certify myself for Angular, like I know pretty much basics of Angular, then I can complete this certification. Then CSS, this is also web. Go is a programming language. JavaScript, like you will come to know each of them very soon. So let's get back to how we can continue in practicing. So let's say like I use C++, but let's go with something else like C or Java, whichever. Like you can comment on the chat which language you use most or you are looking forward to learn. Then we can go with the majority. Most of them will be similar, just to engage. Okay, so many of you are writing C and C++. Okay, Python, nice. Python is a good language. Like it's a very fast language because you have to write less code. But if you are like seeing it from a data structures point of aspect, then like many complex data structures that you will be that coming across in the later stage of your like competitive programming or learning data structures, then you might face some problem with Python as the code will get complicated. So in my own opinion and many of ours, like C++ and Java are like great, with C++ being the most standard language for doing data structures. Anyways, let's continue with C, because most of you are opting for C. So, Pushpendu, if you are facing any problem with the presentation or anything, if I'm missing anything, please do point it
No,
out.
no, it's going perfect. You can
Yeah,
move on.
thanks. So let's just select C here. So basically, each step is a program, and they are like arranged from easy to medium, then some easy, then medium, hard. Like, okay. So like, see here on the right side, you have the status. Like you can just click on solved, and I haven't solved a single problem on C. So this gets filtered. Then pretty basic, you will get idea of that. Like you can sorted with skills like C basic, C intermediate, difficulty, and subdomains. Subdomains are basically like in a language, you have introduction, conditionals, and loops, then strings, arrays, functions, structs, and enums. So these are like the topics you will be learning in the language. And if you want to practice a particular topic, say arrays and strings, so I can just select that, and these problems will come up. So keeping that aside, let's start with this. Hello world. This is the first problem. Easy. C basic, and this challenge helps you to learn to input some data and output some data. So this is one of the first program that everyone as a programmer has done, like printing hello world, like you are starting your programming world. So let's see. And why HackerRank is better in this case, because you can see like the problem, you have the objective well explained, the task well explained again, and examples are given. Uh, So it's not a very like competitive, like it's a test for you, like not something strict, and it's very explained, it's very beginner friendly, and like you are practicing because this is a practice section, so it is meant for practicing. So most of it, like they have already written some of the code, like they have already done the input part here. So we will like, if you're learning C, then you will know that scanf is a keyword used for it taking inputs from the user, and we will be using printf, and this like the challenge requires you to print hello world on a single line and print the already provided input string to std out. Now to std out, what does it means? Let's see. We can click, and this hyperlink is created, so it directs you to the Wikipedia page. So just here standard output, you will like many things, like most of the topics that will come across will have links, and you can just click and travel to them to get an idea if you don't know. So coming back to it, we will be just required to output. And so, and this is the online IDE. Online IDE basically means where you will be submitting your code, where you will be writing. So this is selected for language C. This is fixed because we are inside the practice section for C language. We can change the theme to dark, so it does not hurt the eye of a programmer, and because you will be coding at night. So just simple, everything is done, and it is also commented here. Enter your code here, read input from stdin, print output to stdout. So input part is done as I mentioned, so we just need to output it. So print f, and I don't think this will work. Yes, because we did not do the hello world part. So I missed that. See, this challenge requires you to print hello world on a single line and print the already provided input. So this is the already provided input stored in S. So first we have to print hello world as they have said. So it is simple. And for the syntaxes and stuff, like we will be conducting like topical sessions. We are planning to conduct them. So that will be on C++ or Java, because like we will be working on that, because like C does not have a big library like C++. So that helps us in many places. Someone commented. Yes, okay. Yeah, C++. Like uh, today we will not be looking towards like how we can code in a single language, how a language works. Today we'll be just exploring the platform. It, Like that session would be too long for today. So just see, like we are doing the printing work. So because they said us to print the first line, we did it, and then we printed the second line. Okay, and there will be a exclamation mark. And still, it's a long answer because I did not change the line. So many of you know escape characters are there like slash n, so that helps us change the line. And still, it's a wrong answer because I did not put the comma. Bhai. So many of you are wondering why this Dada is or this man is just sitting here and like making fun of himself. So sorry for that. Like this is like you can just run your code or you and this is running your code and submitting. The difference is that they give you one sample case on which you can just run your code to see if it is working. Like what I did 3 times, I did not submit the code to the platform. Like this is not my final answer. Like I'm just testing it myself to see if it is working. Like if you are using VS Code or Sublime Text Editor for coding in your native platform, so you will be using something to test it out before submitting it finally. So that's what run code means. So there is only one sample test case in HackerRank 0 that they give for testing. And once we see and some things to point out, upload code as file and test against custom input. So these are two things that are here. So we already saw the theme language. This is the reset code. If I click this, like what I wrote extra here, that will get erased again. And like here, some editor modes are there, like Emac, normal, Vim. So many are joining right now. So you need not to worry about that. Like that won't make a problem right now. Tab spaces are basically like these indentations. If you see, like to decorate the program well, so it is readable. So that will be the tab spaces. Like there are 4 space tabs. So this is 4 spaces. If I change the tab to 8, then it will go 8 spaces as this line was selected. So whatever, then autocomplete enable disable. Autocomplete is like it is the works on something called IntelliJ C++. So it is just intelligent. Like if I do print, then it comes. This will come. So you have to print something. So these are some of like better editors have better like autocompletes. Like there is something called GitHub Copilot, which uses artificial intelligence to complete your code. You will come across it soon. So till that, no need to worry. And how do you upload code as a file? So suppose you are not comfortable with writing in this editor. No one is. Like after a time, you will be stressed out from writing on such editors. So you will be uploading code as a file. So you can click and uploading a file will replace the current content of your code editor. Would you like to continue? So you will be clicking on yes. I won't be clicking on yes. So and then your file explorer will open. From there you can choose the C file, like the file you are writing somewhere and storing with extension .c. So that file you will be selecting. And if you select the correct extension, it gets uploaded here and the code here will get changed to the code you have uploaded. So that's basically it. And test against custom input is like you're giving some custom input. Like here the input was life is beautiful, which is scanf is taking. There this is the default one. If we change it to guess geeks for geeks, let's run it and see what happens. So input is geeks for geeks because we gave custom and this is hello geeks for geeks. So the program is working correct according to the input we have provided. So it's not an error and compilation is successful because we did not have any errors in our code. So we will just submit it. We have seen everything else. So there was no other cases because it's a very like basic problem. So test case 0 only was there. Like for harder problems, you will have like 5 to 10 test cases depending on the problem. And let's see what comes up here. You have earned 5 points. Wow, you are now 10 points away from the first star. Like hacker rank stars are like you will complete some problems like 100 points you will get a star, after another 100 points you will get another star, that depends. Like you are 10 points, so basically you needed 15 points to get the first star. So whatever you can score more stars, get a golden badge that comes in 5 stars, I guess. So that will be like you have a very good basic idea of C++ and practice most of the questions that are here. Okay, congratulations, you solved this problem. Would you challenge your friends? These are just for sharing. And next challenge. If you click on the next challenge that was in the list that comes up, playing with characters. If we go to introduction, we see now our hello world in C is solved. Playing with characters is the next problem. So we have completed the part of submission. That was like the most of it which will be you will be doing right now. So if anyone has any queries, you are free to turn on your microphone, raise your hand, and convey in whichever way you are comfortable. Just drop a okay in the chats you do if you don't have any problems or if you don't have any queries till now.
I think Shom that everyone's idea is clear about this platform. So what should we do next?
Okay, so like that's good. So we have completed the part of submissions. Like Pushpinder, do you want to take over?
I think is anything left to means tell about this platform because
Yeah.
I do not usually use this. You know.
Okay, just let me then once show you around the certification and stuff. Don't do much.
Any point you all want to means see again any means
Yes, yes.
part you can
If
tell in the chat or
yeah,
anywhere.
like anything you were had a problem or you could not keep up
Yes.
or you could did not understand any point, even if it is a very small, like just
Yes.
tell. It won't take much time. Okay, then you can mention that in the chat. Till then, let's move on. Like there's not much to show. We can see just certifications because it was there. So like I did one certificate in my entire life on HackerRank. So that is here. And like any certification if we select now, let's see. एक भी नहीं आएगा इससे मुझको. Okay, Python basic if we go, get certified. So take the HackerRank skills test. Skills over predict, like this is their like selling point. Like why should you get this certifications done? So let's proceed. So you fill up a form because you're doing a certification test. So this is pretty much serious for them. So Python 2 and Python 3. So those of you using Python, they know that Python has like two mostly used versions like 2 and 3, and they only differ quite in the libraries and like a bit in the syntax. Apart from that, they are okay. So this is their like stock form. You can upload your CV if you're applying for any exams or something. And then we click proceed. Are you sure your name will be displayed and cannot be changed? Continue. And skill certification tests. If you click on the take tests, then how you were seeing the practice problems, similar thing comes up. So I won't be continuing the test. We will just try the sample test. So that's basically same, but that won't be charged on my account. That's tests are basically free, but once you do a test, it shows up in your account like you have done, you sat for it, and if you don't complete it, that's a negative point. Absolutely. So whatever, let's try the sample test and see. As I mentioned, one or two questions. There are two questions and 90 minutes given. So just let's see the sample test. There's just one question given. Type is mentioned coding. We open it and this is a question like basic. Now the practice question had many hints given. but when you are appearing for a test, you don't have the hints. So there's just the problem statement, function description. The function description, many a times you will find that some of the functions are already defined. Like here, the fizzbuzz function is defined, and we will be working inside of it. So they have just defined what is the input, what the input does, the input here, and what you have to return and what you have to do, what you have to print in this case. Then the constraints. What constraints means are basically like when you are doing a computer program, there is a time limit and a space limit. The space limit which depends on your computer, because you cannot have like infinite space, right? And time limit because of the same reason, because when you are coding, your code needs to be fast. So like if the constraint is like n to into 10 to the power 5 as given here, that means that the value of n which will be given won't be more than this upper limit and won't be lesser than this. So n can be anything from between 1 to 2 to the power 2 into 10 to the power 5 minus 1. In this range, it can be anything. So when you learn about time complexity, you will learn that around 10 to the power 7 is the like limit of operations that you can do in 1 second. It's like it varies like 10 to the power 6 to 10 to the power 8, but 10 to the power 7 is pretty standard for that. So if you have constraints like greater than that, then your program will run for more time, or you have to find a better or faster way to complete it. So you will come across it later. And there is a standard input given, a sample input, sample output, how it is showing, and explanation of the example. So it may be there, it may not be there, whatever. Then we have here autocomplete ready language. We can select any language. I see we are giving a test on Python, I guess, but it's showing okay, like you can select any language, that won't matter. Editor shortcuts, slide theme and stuff. And here we have run code, run tests, submit. So run code, basically you will run your code for a custom input. Test results, when you run the tests, are basically like there is a test case which will be provided for the exam. So you have like 5 or 10, you will have test cases which you have to succeed in order to submit. So that means your program is working fine. So as you saw in the earlier case, that sample test 0, the input and output was always shown to you, like this is the input and this is the output. But for the other cases, you may not be shown. It may be a hidden. So you can't see what the actual output is, but you know that there is a error. Uh, Whatever. Let's just that's about it, and there's nothing like you can just hide the timer. Test instructions is the timer. 90 minutes was there. Test shortcuts. Oh, this is a 60-minute test. Okay. This is a sample test. That's why. Like if you had selected that, you wouldn't have the option to select language because we already chose Python. So forgive me for misunderstanding that. So after you solve it, you can just submit and that will be over. So that's how it works. Moving back. So practice and compete. Now, HackerRank is not like competitions like none of us are right now participating competitions in HackerRank because HackerRank is like a beginner platform and it's good for learning. But for if you are competing, there are better platforms, I might say. So you will come across those as you progress with your learning of language. So you can just see them, like many of these contests are like hiring contests. Now, hiring contests are important because when you are applying for a job, you will have a coding round, and many of them use HackerRank. Hacker Earth is another platform which is good for like interviews. Like many of the companies are putting their contests there, so you will see that. Create contests, manage contests. You will come across this when you need to. And leaderboard is basically like those who are competing in the platform, their list is given like this guy Kennedy, he's from Belarus, and he's coding for more than 15 years, I guess. Like everybody knows, like you will also get to know him. So he's like uh, pretty famous guy. So whatever. So that's about HackerRank. Pushpindu, is it anything else there?
So guys, again, if you have any problem, please you can tell in the chat or just unmute yourself. And the certification thing is also very attractive, you know. Means after you have completed, you can just showcase it, share with your friends, and it's also very means healthy habit. It will enhance your skills also. So it's very good if you do that certifications, means challenges or something like that.
Yes, surely, because like if you are practicing something you really and you are really good at it, you need something to show for that. So certifications are basically that. You have paid certifications, unpaid ones like in HackerRank. Like if you move forward, then you have like paid certifications as well. So whichever will be required. Like recently, many of you may have seen the Hack with Infi, like a notice was given out. So Hack with Infi is like Infosys's competition, which you can just appear for, and if you are doing well in it, you get certified. So that is basically a job certification. Like you are eligible for a job at Infosys, and like that is used by many companies apart from Infosys as well, because like when you are winning something, you are winning something up. Like that does not matter that it was for Infosys or for Google. So keeping that, having said that, if you have any doubts, then you can just ask them right now. Okay. So hacker ranks chapter might close here, right, Pushpindu? Like we don't have anything left for
Yes,
hacker
we
rank.
can wrap it up
Can you
now.
show the
Yes, we
user
have one
GitHub?
question. Uh,
GitHub
we
right
can
now it
do.
will be a lengthy one,
Yes,
but surely there will be a chapter for GitHub. And also, if you don't know, like our college has a Winter of Code. This is like a development competition called JGEC Winter of Code. That will be happening soon in the future. So stay tuned for that. You're in your
yes,
first year, so you might not know much about it, but you will surely have an experience. Yes, Pushpindu.
yes, yes. Yeah, that was I telling that before JWOC, you will have one session means,
Yes, like they
about
will be
how to
conducting
use
sessions
GitHub.
of
Yes,
themselves as well on GitHub
yes,
and submissions and
because
stuff.
yeah, for the first 3 years it is very means, but
Important.
there many of you won't know how to use GitHub, how to deploy, yeah, how to means, download code and how to that, then all. Pretty small session will be made, or I think more than one or two. It will be done.
Yes.
So there, the GitHub one will be sorted out the problems.
Yes, so stay tuned for the GitHub one. We won't be addressing that today. And so, as the HackerRank part is over, like we have one question to ask you. Like many of you are in the Discord channel, and if you're not there, do join in there. And how many of you are practicing the daily questions or just giving it a look? Just ping in the chat once. Like how many of you are trying to solve or solving the daily questions that we are sending in the Discord channel?
Yes, if you also tell that if you cannot solve or don't means able to understand that what to do means, if you have any problem means about the lead code or GFG, you can just tell anything, any sort of like it is the problem or it is that platform which is you are not comfortable, how to use that, anything.
Hmm. Respond, guys. Like no need to be like ashamed that you cannot use or something like that. Like I myself could not like use like CodeChef and stuff till like February or March 2021. So that does not matter. Like once you start learning, you will catch the flow. Sandipan says, I don't know much DSA, so it's a little difficult for me. Yes, surely it will be difficult. You will be learning stuff, you will be learning new stuff. And to for that, we can say that CodeChef's long challenge has started. So long challenge is a place which is quite good for beginners, as you will have time to learn new topics and solve problems on those. So you can give it a look. Like CodeChef's session, previous session, if you have joined, that was like a few days back. So there we had like our seniors like Aman and Sharan Bhaiya, they had shown how to use CodeChef, and we will be having future sessions on that as well. We will be covering out lead code, HackerRank, and stuff like that. So stay tuned with us. So
Yes, I would also recommend to see the means practice problems from CodeShip. Like take that problems very easy ones and try to solve. If you can't solve, just learn the concepts. Or I think not much very difficult concepts will be there. Just see how to do it. Just try it out sometime. Then see the editorial part how to do it, and that's how you will learn. Okay.
yes, because like when I started to do coding in first year, so I could not like submit because I did not know how to submit code because I was not familiar with like this template and stuff and this like how in HackerRank today we showed you. So this stuff was confusing. So like I knew the logic like yes, this is what is being done in the program, but I don't know how to convert that to code. So you will face that a lot even now. Like I don't know like higher concepts like how higher data structures and stuff, but sometimes even if I catch what is being going on in the back, I don't know how to convert it to code. So that what is January long challenge on CodeShip? A January long challenge, see, CodeShip is a competitive programming platform as well as it's good for beginners and practicing. So long challenge is just a competition. You will be competing with coders all over India and world. You will be solving problems, and the more problems you solve, the better higher rank you get. So keeping the rank aside, like you will have some problems, you will be solving them. Now, long challenge gives you around 3 or 4 days. This from starting from January. So you will have a January long challenge, which is going right now, will be for 4 days, I guess. So you have 4 days, you have around 3 or 4 problems, and you will be solving them. So suppose you saw a problem on array on the first day, you know that it is a problem on array because you understand that, but you don't know how to use array or vector. So you have 2 or 3 days. If you want, you can learn that skill. You can even master it if you are putting that much effort. So that's why long challenge are good for starting because you will have time to improve. Because suppose you are sitting with a problem for 3 days, something will come out of your mind about that. Like when you will be giving short contests, you will have 2 hours. You either know the answer or you don't know, or a fair chance that you will get the answer in the last few minutes. So that's up to you. That's up to your practicing. Like without practicing, nothing will work. So that's it. If Pushpindu, if you have anything to add.
Yes, that if you do more problems, that it will only increase your implementation skills. So if you don't do the problems, means it will if you have the knowledge of DSA also, it won't means increase your implementation skills. So the more problem you do, it will help more in the implementation part. So I would recommend to miss at least just see the problems, and the DSA knowledge will come side by side when you come to new problems. So the learning part will also go side by side with your problem solving skills. So yeah, that's all.
Okay. So like last time, if you have any doubts, you can just ask us, like in any topic. If you are doing the daily challenges, just you can also say here, then we can do a short session on how to solve those if any of you have tried it. Otherwise, like we don't have much stuff to discuss today.
Yes, and also if you don't remember any doubt if you have previously planned, you can just tell it in WhatsApp group or in Discord. There also will reply. No problem at all.
Yeah,
So, which
you
is
have.
better for practice from scratches, lead code or HackerRank? So, I think HackerRank would be preferable, no? Sure.
Yes, like lead code, you will not find that much of the basics. Like you will have lead code is very good. Lead code is like Aman Bhaiya in the previous meeting also said that lead code is a question bank type of platform
Yes,
where
not
it's
the
just,
learning part is not good.
yes,
I think
learning part
HackerRank
is not
is good.
as concise as HackerRank, because HackerRank is
HackerRank.
like you saw the Hello World program. The Hello World program, I don't think you will find in any other like language except for Geeks maybe, because that is also a practice platform. So like that only, lead code is good for practicing when you don't have much time, but you want to practice all the topics. You want to practice previous company questions that came, like many of the time the questions our seniors are getting asked now in the interviews are questions from lead code, which are like famous questions. Like you will come to know that yes, this question is famous, and you will know how to do it, because that's how it works. So you will get to know it as you progress.
Yes, so HackerRank will be preferable if you want to means practice from scratch and all the basic stuff. So we would prefer to do
Yes,
start with HackerRank. You know.
and you should know like when you have to switch from a platform to another. Like if you are starting from HackerRank, that's great. You are doing stars, you are getting stars on the language you are doing. Okay, but now if you are looking forward to practice like better like DSA, focus on DSA or focus on competitive programming, you should know when to switch to lead code, when to switch to code chef or code forces if you are like fully focused on competitive programming. Like there will be many other platforms like even we don't use, like top coder and stuff. So you will know when to switch once you start learning. That will help you to keep maintain your growth curve and like be a better coder. That's it.
So I think Shom we can wrap it up
Yes,
now.
we can wrap it
Thank you.
up now. After
Oh,
how
so
many
one
stars?
more. mm, how many
Like
stars should I
there is
switch?
nothing like, see, there are people who did not use HackerRank from beginning. Like here Pushpenduda is here, so he does not use HackerRank because he did not need to. He just learned like the basics and he started with CodeShip and stuff. So there is nothing like this, like you need this many stars or you are not eligible. So that you will understand, like I know the basics of a language, then I am confident enough. Like that's how we will understand it. So
Yeah,
if you're
you can
confident
start.
enough, you can
After
switch.
start, after start you will understand if you require
Yes.
or not. Just start it once.
Yes, like if you want to switch, like if your friends are switching in to CodeChef, now you want to switch to CodeChef. So you just give CodeChef a try, but keep your options open because CodeChef is not the only platform. Like we have our bad contests and that like sets us down, like we get demotivated, but you don't stop there, right? If you are not able to can't keep up, you switch to hacker rank again, you practice more, you come back again, you come back stronger, you come back better equipped to solve the problems. So that's how you will just keep your options open. uh,
Yes, and don't compare with anyone. Like if you have any bad contest and other one having a good contest, just don't get depressed and started to
yes,
compare. You know.
like Pushpendo here, he is like a very good coder, so like many of the days like I am just crying in the corner after he completes the contest. So that does
It's
not
not
like
like
set me
that, you know.
back because the next day I will again go to him and ask for answers so I can get better rank. So that's how it works. So
Yes, just make a healthy competition. Just don't
yes,
get, yeah, over complex.
yes. Okay, so we have with among ourselves Sananda De. Sananda De is also a very like good, like she is also regular on CodeChef and stuff. So if you have anything to say, Didi. Hello, Sananda Di.
হ্যাঁ, আমাকে কেন দিদি বলছিস?
Like just share that তুই কেমন করে মানে স্টার্ট করেছিলিস বা কিছু প্রবলেম হয়েছিল বা কেমন করে করতে থাকলি এখন তো মানে
হ্যাঁ,
খুবই ভালো
হ্যাঁ
কোডিং
ওইটুকুটা শেয়ার
করছিস।
করতে পারিস।
হ্যাঁ।
হুম।
আচ্ছা, আমি ফার্স্টে মানে সিনিয়র দাদারা আমাদেরকে তো কোড শিখালো। তারপর কোড চেক করলাম। কোড চেকে ফার্স্ট কোনো কোশ্চেনই সলভ করতে পারতাম না। দিয়ে আস্তে, আস্তে মোটামুটি একটা করলাম। একটা করার পর কোড শিফটারটা যখন একটু হলো, মানে ২ টো ৩টে মোটামুটি পারলাম, তখন কোড ফোর্সে গেলাম। হ্যাকার র‍্যাংক আমিও ফার্স্টে স্টার্ট করিনি। হ্যাকার র‍্যাংকটা আমি এই ফার্স্ট তোরা করতে আমি জানতে পারলাম।
হুম। তো এখন মানে কোড ফোর্সেসে তো মানে ভালোই করছিস, তো অসুবিধে হচ্ছে না?
অসুবিধা হচ্ছে ওই ডাটা স্ট্রাকচারটার জন্যই হচ্ছে যা আর কি।
হ্যাঁ, তো ডেটা স্ট্রাকচার এখন কোত্থেকে করছিস?
করিনি রে, ওই ফার্স্ট লিঙ্ক লিস্ট শেখাচ্ছে আমাদের
আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা।
দিকে গেছে তো, সেখানেই হচ্ছে এখন।
আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ, তো লাইক শি সেড, যেটা বললো যে ওরকম না যে যেরকম হ্যাকার র্যাঙ্কটা জানতেও না, মানে আমরাও হয়তো হ্যাকার র্যাঙ্ক খুব একটা শুরুতে ইউজ করতাম না, কারণ আমি আমি নিজেও করতাম না। আমি একটা দাদার স্টার দেখে একদিনে তারপর বসে বসে 5 স্টার উঠিয়ে নিয়েছিলাম। তো ওটা মানে কিছুই না, মানে রাগ হয়েছিল যে আমার কেন নেই, ওরকম একটা ব্যাপার, শো অফ করার জন্য। সো ওটা কিছুই না, ইউ ক্যান প্র্যাকটিস ফ্রম এনি প্ল্যাটফর্ম ইউ লাইক, you can do whatever you want, just make sure that you are not getting stopped, like nothing is
আমরা
stopping you.
কোর্স যে ফার্স্ট থেকে করেছি মানে
হ্যাঁ,
ওদেরকেও ফার্স্ট থেকে করতে হবে এমন নয়, হ্যাকার র্যাঙ্কটা করতে চাইলে করতে পারিস, ইজি আছে ওখান
নিশ্চয়ই,
থেকে ফার্স্ট।
নিশ্চয়ই। হ্যাকার র্যাঙ্ক ইজ লাইক বেস্ট ফর বিগিনিং, লাইক ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ শেখার জন্য হ্যাকার র্যাঙ্ক খুব ভালো, কারণ ওখানে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ টপিকটাকে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ হিসেবে ভাগ করা আছে, যে সি প্লাস প্লাস আলাদা, আর ডেটা স্ট্রাকচার যখন শিখতে চাও ওটার জন্য আলাদা সেট অফ কোয়েশ্চেন আছে। তো খুবই ভালো। তো দ্যাটস ইট, আর কারো কিছু বলার থাকলে নিশ্চয়ই
আচ্ছা,
বলো।
সার্টিফিকেটের ওখানে কিন্তু
হ্যাঁ,
সি প্লাস প্লাস দেখতে পাচ্ছিলাম না, জাভা স্ক্রিপ্ট দেখলাম, জাভা দেখলাম, সি
হ্যাঁ,
প্লাস প্লাসটা দেখতে।
সার্টিফিকেটের ওখানে সি প্লাস প্লাস, দাঁড়াও আমি বলছি একবার দেখে। সার্টিফিকেটের ওখানে সি প্লাস প্লাস ছিল না বোধহয়, কারণ আমি করে রেখেছিলাম। এক সেকেন্ড।
মানে আমার এত দেখছি হচ্ছে না, নেই ওটা।
আচ্ছা, ও, তাহলে হতে পারে যে নেই ওটা, কারণ মানে এখনো হয়তো অ্যাড করেনি ওরা। সো ওটা এখন কিছু করার নেই, কারণ যেটা ওরা প্রোভাইড করছে সার্টিফিকেশন গুলো সি প্লাস প্লাস এর, ওরকম করে সার্টিফিকেশন থেকে আমার বোধহয় মনে হচ্ছে যে প্রবলেম সলভিং যদি কেউ করে সেটা বেটার, কারণ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, তোমার অনেকগুলো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, এখন তুমি যে কোনো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজেই মাস্টার করতে পারো। তো তার থেকে প্রবলেম সলভিং উইল বি আ বেটার ওয়ে টু জাজ ইউ, লাইক প্রবলেম সলভিং যদি কেউ ভালো করে, মানে সে যে কোনো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজেই করে সেটা। তো সি প্লাস প্লাস নেই, এটা নিশ্চয়ই একটা ড্রব্যাক এখানে, তো ওটা দেখতে হবে সি প্লাস প্লাস সার্টিফিকেশন কে দেয়, কিন্তু তাই বলে যে বাকি ফিচার গুলো তো ভালোই আছে, তো ওটা
হ্যাঁ
কোনো
হ্যাঁ, অবশ্যই অবশ্যই
ব্যাঘাত
অবশ্যই
ঘটবে না।
অবশ্যই
হ্যাঁ, নিশ্চয়ই।
অবশ্যই অবশ্যই।
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ,
ঠিক আছে।
ওটাই সি হ্যাশ আছে আবার, তো ওটাই মানে অনেক ডাইভার্স করে, যেরকম প্রথম লাইনে এই তিনটে গো এগুলো বেশিরভাগ ডেভেলপমেন্ট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, মানে এরকম ডেটা স্ট্রাকচার করার ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ তেমন ভাবে না, যেরকম সি প্লাস প্লাস নাই স্টাইল করার জন্য। জাভাস্ক্রিপ্ট, নোড, নোড জেএস বেসিক, এগুলো তোমরা পাবে হচ্ছে ডেভেলপমেন্টে, মানে ডেভেলপমেন্ট বলতে ওয়েবসাইট ডেভেলপমেন্ট, বা কেউ অ্যান্ড্রয়েড অ্যাপ বানাচ্ছ, তো ওগুলোতে পাবে। সো ওটা রিঅ্যাক্ট একটা এসকিউএল, যেরকম ডেটাবেস, যারা যারা সিবিএসই ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড থেকে আসছো তারা এসকিউএল পড়েছো 12-এ, তো তোমরা জানো আইডিয়া। তো এগুলোই। হুম, তো দ্যাটস ইট, থ্যাংক ইউ ফর জয়নিং ওয়ান্স অ্যাগেন। পুষ্পেন্দু, ইফ ইউ হ্যাভ এনিথিং টু।
Yes, yes. Thank you all for joining. Now we can just wrap it up. Uh, yes.
হ্যাঁ, তো অনেকটাই
Thank
র্যাপ
you,
হয়ে
everyone.
গেছে, থ্যাংক ইউ। না, ইউ ক্যান জয়েন, ইউ ক্যান লিভ রাইট নাও।